Hey guys, welcome to Nifty World. I'm Bex, and in today's video I'm going to be talking you through how to build a strong NFT community. Now this is going to be key for you whether or not you are a buyer of NFTs or if you are a seller of NFTs. You want to be in with the right community and you want to be building a strong community as well. So in this video you're going to learn how this happens right from the beginning all the way through to building momentum, and then what that longer term future is going to look like. And joining me on this video is someone who has done just that. It is the co-founder of the amazing Junkyard Dogs, someone who has really built an incredible community around these incredible NFTs. So don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe as well, and let's dive right in. Right, ladies and gents, joining me right now is, drum roll please, because this is kind of an exclusive. I'm going to reveal the name of Chef Dizzy from Junkyard Dogs. It's Michael Diamond. Hello, Michael.
Hey, hey, how's it going, Rebecca? Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor and a privilege.
Do you know what? Because you're so nice, you can call me Bex. We don't need.
All right, Bex. Sounds great.
Brilliant.
Sounds great.
Well, listen, I want to say first and foremost, congratulations on the success of Junkyard Dogs. I mean, you guys have built an amazing community, and we are so early in this game when it comes to NFTs, and what you guys have done is phenomenal. So I feel very honored that you are speaking to me today about how to build a really, really strong community. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, how do you feel with all of this success? Does it feel real? Do you feel like there's still so much more to come? What's going on?
You know, honestly, as far as the success goes, it feels rather surreal. Yeah. You know, we had been building up to the main sale for so long. We had some delays and some setbacks, and the fact that we were able to sell out on our main sale in less than 10 minutes, the fact that we have so many unique wallet holders at 3,160 right now, we're almost at 40%. It feels absolutely surreal. And you know, it is sinking in, of course, because of all the work that we have to do now. You know, there's the work before the launch, and then now there's the real work of the building after the launch. And so my workload has in hours put in has probably doubled or tripled since then. And so that part isn't surreal. That feels very real. And you know, it's funny. Before all this, I had taken a chef contract. I do catering at an event center, and I'm actually going up there for 3 weeks. I'll be doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you know, I'm kind of scratching my head now as I prepare to go up there. Like, what am I even doing? You know, had I known that Junkyard Dogs was going to sell out and this was going to really turn into the phenomenon that it is, I probably wouldn't be going up there right now. But I'll be sharing video and stuff while I'm up there. You guys can see my my workload, so that'll be fun.
I hope to see you sort of putting out a tweet saying, I've quit my job, guys, because this is full time for me really soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it will be. It absolutely will be. And I got to fulfill this contract. And then after that, I think I'm going to be done with the chefery for the time being.
Amazing. So let's go back to basics of what Junkyard Dogs is, because this has started with a group of, from your website, I would suggest 12, but I understand there's 8 core members within your team. And that is very different to, you know, a lot of people who are just single NFT artists who have just decided to put stuff out there. You guys are a collective team who have come together, seen an opportunity, and decided to run with that. So when did this all start? How do you guys all know each other? And what got you started with Junkyard Dogs?
It's all really great questions, Bex. And for starters, you know, I would say the size of our team is one of our largest assets. You know, we have a number of different people who specialize in different areas, or they bring a different wealth of knowledge and experience to the team. I would like to say that first and foremost, every single person on our team is a cryptocurrency enthusiast and an avid NFT collector. And so that's actually the real story of how Junkyard Dogs began. We were all collecting NFTs, and we kind of found each other in a Discord, and one of us made a private Discord channel and started pulling the other notables in as kind of a more curated chat about the subject at hand. And, you know, we turned into a real regular group of friends, sharing secrets, doing deals, trades, tips, what have you. And these guys really became my core group of friends. I think for a lot of people, the pandemic has been really hard. I know that it's been really hard for me, especially. I'm a really outgoing guy, and I wasn't expecting to find a community when I got involved with NFTs. But what I did was I found people that I spend hours with talking to every day, and we share our passion, which is collecting NFTs. It's hard because a lot of people don't really understand what's going on here. If cryptocurrency is a niche, then NFTs right now are a niche within inside of a niche, and even less people understand that. And I have a cousin who's a heavy cryptocurrency investor, and he did not get the whole NFTs thing the first time I tried to approach him about it. A lot of people just see JPEGs, and they don't see what's there. But anyway, yeah. So the entire team, we're all super enthusiastic about this space and what we're doing, and we kind of bonded together in this private channel. And one of us had the idea. Actually, it was Junkyard Sloth, who came forth with the first. We'd floated around different NFT projects, but he was the one who came forward with the driving vision and the single goal and purpose to really push the project and get everybody else on board. It's one thing when a bunch of people have an idea, right? But it's another thing to take like an idea and actually turn it into like a working action plan. You know what I mean? And executing, and that was where.
Yeah, because you all need like different roles to make this work. You can't all be like all just graphic designers. Like someone has to be really big on marketing. Someone really actually has to kind of know the back end stuff, and someone has to be the voice, the front of it. And that's what I think is really interesting, is this kind of conglomerate that you've pulled together. Did you all have individual communities that you could, pull together to help sort of launch this particular community?
That's a really good question. I don't think we did have our own individual communities to pull from. None of us really have a large following on Twitter or in any particular group. I was the community moderator and Discord manager for Vivi, and I think we have a lot of people who came from Vivi to Junkyard Dogs. And that was probably the largest singular community that we drew from, because all of us had collected Vivi collectibles in the past, and so and still do for the most part. So,
because I think it's really, I think it's really interesting that obviously we're giving some tips here as to how to build a strong community, which is exactly what you guys have done. But someone sort of starting out in the world of NFTs might be thinking to themselves, how am I ever going to get, 8,000 people on Twitter? How am I going to get 8,000 people on Discord? Like, where do I start? What do I begin? And it's quite refreshing to hear that you guys actually didn't have like this big influential following, and this is organic and it's built up. Yeah, that's amazing.
Completely organic. I mean, I think it's really important. Look, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. And what we have here is an ever evolving formula for what a successful project looks like. At first, it was just the generative avatars, and then there was breeding, and then now DAOs are a really hot subject, and I'm not sure what it's going to be, next week. But basically, there's been this kind of formula for a successful project, and it's been constantly changing, and it's been kind of interesting to watch the progression. And so our growth has been really organic. And one of the things that we focused on from the very beginning is just having really quality art. I can't state it enough. Like, we've always been confident that our project would succeed because compared to many of our competitors, I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to say all of them, right? But we have invested a substantial amount of time in making sure our art is really fine quality, and is done by one really excellent artist and his team that kind of works underneath him. And then on top of that, we took the extra step of animating our avatars. And at that point in time, there were no other animated avatars. And so I would say it's important to copy, or I don't want to say copy, but to learn from the success of other projects, what they did well, and incorporate that. But also try to figure out what you can do that's different, that you're really sincerely proud of, and that you can stand behind, because that really pulls a lot of people in. Before we ever even started talking about the future, The fact that our profile pictures were animated, people loved that, and we slowly teased out the animations, and I think it was definitely a big draw that, hey, there's something different going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of that time frame for you, so you guys were friends, you were all on Discord, you kind of, but when was this? Is this 2017? Is this has this been years in the making, or is it actually relatively new?
Well, it sounds absurd, but it's actually relatively new. I'd say we all started meeting each other about late March of this year, and they say a week is like a month in the NFT space.
Yeah.
And I have to say it certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've known these people my whole life. But that's kind of the idiosyncrasies of this space that's developed is, we all, of course, I know Sloth's real name and I know where he lives. And so if he ever tries to pull anything funny, I'm coming right after him, Born Identity style. But besides that, I didn't really know the real names and the real faces of all the team members until the day of our sellout. And that's kind of, it sounds absurd. And my wife, she laughs at me actually, as she hears me on these board calls where I'm calling them Sloth and Nine and Gravy. And she thinks it's like, she's like, you're not working, like you're just, you're just saying silly things down there. And yeah, I think it's amazing. It's an amazing story. The possibilities that can happen in this NFT space, the connections, and that's really what we're trying to bring to a wider audience with Junkyard Dogs. Those same connections, that same feeling of community that really helped us grow and propelled us to success. We want to be able to bring that to a wider audience.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's brilliant. So your initial launch, you sold 1,880 in your initial launch. Now that wasn't the original number, was it? It was supposed to be, it was less originally.
Right. So, these projects are not as simple as they may look to pull off. And, when we set out to animate these avatars, I'm going to be honest, we didn't know exactly how difficult that was going to be. We believed that it was going to be a certain level of difficulty, and then in the actual execution of the idea, it turned out that it needed some more refinement. And so originally we were going to launch 888 dogs, and that was going to be our fair community launch. Fair community because we wanted to limit the amount of dogs per transaction to 1. And so you'll probably hear about me you'll probably hear me talking about this a lot. It's a key performance indicator that I really like to bring up, but it's our unique wallet holders. At launch, I believe we had 2,650, which was well over a little bit over 33% at the time, and that was a major success. So limiting the amount of dogs people could buy in one transaction was really integral to allowing us to grow the community organically, because a lot of times, if you're not aware, there's this situation called gas wars. And what will happen is if the limit is set to maybe say 15, right? Well, if you have the money to pay for your transactions to go the fastest, then you can just make multiple transactions and wipe out, a small percentage of the total supply by yourself if you have the money to pay for the gas speed up. And so by limiting that really to like 1 per person, we were trying to make sure as many people as possible were able to join us.
Yeah. Because that's the thing when you think about community, right? And I've been looking on like Opensea and kind of trying to make those clever strategic investments when it comes to NFTs. And the big thing you want to be looking at is how many wallet holders are there, because it needs to kind of be like 40% or so in order to really kind of know that there is a community behind it. So if you've got 10,000 pieces and then only 200 wallet holders, it doesn't quite make sense.
Right, that's a big red flag. I mean, it's a clear sign that the floors are being manipulated, or maybe that's a strong word, but artificially kept in different places, because when the supply is in so few hands, it's easy to control the value of that product on the floor.
Yeah.
So,
and I want to ask about, one of my big questions is about kind of the gas issues, because you think you're buying your junkyard dog at X amount, and then you're going to get stung with the gas. And it's like, do you take the punt on the gas, or do you wait? And then suddenly you wait and you've missed the opportunity. I know that you guys, I've read on your website that you're, and also on your kind of town hall announcements, is that you're trying to do something to help reduce the gas. in this as much as possible. Is that correct?
That was definitely something that we spent probably a dozen hours talking about as a team leading up to the launch. It's a really complicated issue. The short of it is that, you know, there have been some inventive solutions to the gas problems in recent times. But when it comes to smart contracts, if you talk to somebody who works with Solidity, you know, there are no do-overs. Every contract you test live is live, and so the more complicated you make that process, the more likely it is that something goes wrong. And so we had talked about a number of different inventive solutions to kind of take gas out of the equation. But at the end of the day, gas works like this. It's the going rate for miners to do their job, which is to process the transactions. Okay. And if I decide I really want this mint, okay, and I decide I'm going to pay 10 times more gas than the going rate right now, well, then my transaction is going to go first. And it's kind of free market supply and demand. You know, like as a company making a product, I can't control how much somebody else is willing to pay for gas. And of course, the other flip side of that is that if we limited we could have put a gas limit on it, for example, but if we had set that to be too low, then the miners just wouldn't have picked up the transactions at all, and they would have stayed in limbo for an extended period of time. And so there have been some inventive solutions like mint passes and stuff like that, but the truth is, by the time those became a really viable solution as far as other people doing it and it having worked, it would have delayed our launch. You know, we would have had to rewrite the contract completely. And so we decided to, you know, try to time the launch for low peak times and kind of just rip the Band-Aid off and go for it, doing the best we could as far as not conflicting with other drops, because right now gas wars are it's just an unavoidable effect of living and breathing in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah. And there isn't kind of a set time that's like off peak, is there?
It's
luck of the draw.
internationals. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's international. The best you can do is try to cross-reference what other drops are happening during the week and make sure that you're not, you know, coinciding with their drop time as well. So
Yeah. Okay, before we move on, because what I've gathered is it's like, you know, it's exciting, all the build up and work that you've had to put in for the launch, but the big job is going to be the momentum going forward, right? Because and
that's the exciting part.
That's the exciting part. But for anyone who's starting out with a community and wanting to build a community, what have you learned from pre-launch that and what advice would you give someone just starting out? Because you're ahead of the game, so it's only natural to ask a question like that.
Sure. No, I mean, and it's interesting you asked that. I've actually been approached by a number of communities to consult with them on this matter, you know, Discord growth, community growth, and stuff like that. So, you know, and I do have a lot to say about it. For starters, one of the things that we did to try make Junkyard Dogs really catch on in the public eye was we paid attention to humor. I mean, humor is so important, making people laugh. And so one of our key team members, Dean, actually, he is a meme master. And early on, we had him make us a bunch of different Junkyard Dogs memes that we were able to use for Twitter and sharing and stuff like that. Humor and getting people to laugh is such a positive experience. You know, we all enjoy laughing, and I think if you're looking to just start from nowhere, trying to make some really funny memes about your product, you know, with your characters is definitely going to go a long way. On top of that, we did what was called a proof of attendance protocol or a POAP, and that is a service provided by another team that you can award badges or NFTs to people who have showed up early or have come to your community. And so we had a POAP giveaway where the first 500 Twitter followers and the first 500 Discord members were eligible to apply for these POAP badges. And it was really successful. You know, we instantly saw a growth. I mean, I hate to say it, but giveaways, people like free stuff, you know, and are people looking for value, I should rather say. And when you can give them some value up front, they really appreciate that. The only downside to doing giveaways is you will find the communities known as the airdrop hunters. Okay, and these are people who, for better or for worse, are just going around from community to community trying to enter giveaways, trying to be eligible for airdrops. You know, it's not as nefarious as it sounds. You know, with the value of things in cryptocurrency, you know, if you were to just score one giveaway, you know, that could be a substantial amount of money to somebody from a third world country or somebody that's really economically depressed. And so, you know, these people will tend to turn out in droves, trying to get something for free, and that's okay. You know, they're welcome to be around for while they're around, but it's just something that definitely needs to be monitored. I would say
Yeah.
to any person who's trying to start a community is you do need to watch out for those people and make sure that you're not catering to them too strongly, because they're not really going to be there in the second phase, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes down to buying the product and starting the club, you know. So um let's see what else. I think something that I did personally, I did a lot of clubhouses and voice chats, just with members that were in the Discord throughout the week. I think that, again, putting a voice to the avatar is really powerful. And you know, I'm officially I'm the spokesperson of Junkyard Dogs, and so I try to make it my priority to really interact with the community and also know what's going on, so I have answers. You
Yeah.
know, like nobody really wants to be put off when you ask them a question, you know. And so actually anytime before I speak, you know, I'm dragging the team into a meeting. I'm like, all right guys, you know, I need to make sure I know everything that's going on right now, because when we talk about it, I want to be able to speak about it knowledgeably, you
Yeah.
know. And having somebody in a position like mine, I think, is really important, because the truth is, if you're a developer, you're not going to have time to answer questions. If you're making the art, you're not going to have time to answer questions. If you're, you know, working on these different portions of the project, it's not always going to be prudent to be in a public role. And so finding somebody who can really engage the community and continue to nurture them is a crucial part to growing your community, I would say.
Yeah, I have to say, when I joined the Junkyard Dogs community on Discord, I almost immediately got told about your town hall that you were doing, where you know, you were updating everyone. And by listening to you through audio, it just cemented things for me, and it made me feel like, yes, there is a person behind this. It's not
Right,
like,
right, right.
and that for me really, really works. So that's brilliant. Thank you for those tips. I think that's going to be really useful to a lot of people.
Sure, sure.
So moving forward, obviously, you know, you've had a great success. The news dropped this week, which is time stamping this video a little bit, but that Visa has bought a CryptoPunk, right, for
Oh yeah.
$150,000. That has just suddenly got everyone going, NFTs, amazing. Is that, you know, for you guys, does that shove a rocket up your bum ready to go and think, God, we need to work doubly hard because now more eyes are on us? Or is this just actually, you know, this is the momentum we've been looking for? This is the kickstart that we needed.
Uh, you know, that that event with Visa buying the CryptoPunk is really interesting, and depending on who you ask, it's awesome or it's terrible. You
Mm,
know, I think it's incredibly bullish personally for the NFT market and for the way things are going. Traditionally, institutions have been really risk averse. You know, it's taken us years and you know, a massive upwards track record for institutions to finally start accumulating Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example. You know,
mm,
they missed the really low things, and I think what's really interesting about Visa jumping on board with CryptoPunks is you see these institutions and mainstream brands looking at the space with new eyes and a new willingness to interact and really embrace what the space has to bring. You see with Bored Apes and Arizona Green Tea collaboration, and I think uh, I don't remember that. There's another project, like a Skull project, that has a collaboration with Skull Candy, the headphones. And so, you know, as far as Junkyard Dogs goes, you know, absolutely, we are looking for, you know, mainstream brand partners and how can we integrate with a more mainstream audience, because really we're not a social club that's just meant for NFT people. You know,
mm.
Junkyard Dogs, by and large, is a social club that is meant to help all of its members in a mutually beneficial way. Okay. And one of the things that we're trying to do is connect people on a real level in mentorship programs where people can ask for help or look for jobs or employment experience or whatever, as a real community, in a similar fashion to, Rotary International or, the Freemasons, the temple lodges, or even churches. What they provide is community and connection. And I want Junkyard Dogs to be a place of immense value, where the members are attracted to that specifically.
Yeah, I mean, well, God, if you look at religion, that is the ultimate first community that was ever really built, isn't it? So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not trying to take the place of church. We're not going to do, actually, we have our board meetings on Sunday mornings, but, but what I'm saying is, and we were going back to the pandemic and what made all this possible is people are unable to engage in their normal brick and mortar institutions right now. They're unable to engage their normal first, second choice for community. And so you see people turning to the online and in our circumstance, NFTs, and really embracing that, in a life-changing way. And I think that this is a catalyst for the social clubs of the future. And to bring that back to Visa and CryptoPunks, and what we're trying to do is, yeah, we're definitely trying to cross the barrier between the NFT bubble, and I don't mean that in the economic sense, but
Yeah.
just the echo chamber. People
Yeah.
sometimes say that NFT Twitter is a lot smaller than you think, and it's true. When you see the biggest NFT personalities have less than 50,000 followers, which is a lot of followers for sure. But compared to some of the crypto celebrities with hundreds of thousands of followers, it's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And I think, with that, actually, what was quite interesting, and we were talking about this a little bit offline, is actually Twitter, apart from Discord, Twitter for me is the go-to platform for social platform to
Sure.
understand, speak to the community. I can't even tell you, since I've started talking about NFTs, follow accounts have jumped up. I've got so many people engaging with me, more so than I ever have
Oh yeah.
on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, which I think is amazing. And that just, again, it's a community that is young enough to harness at this stage and to really maximize on. What you're saying to me sounds like we don't want any sort of people who are just going to show up, try and make a quick buck, and then move on. We're here for people in the long run, and these are the people that are going to stick with us and to grow with us. And I think that's a really key part of what makes you guys great.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I hope that my junkyard dogs are actually something that are a value that I can pass on to my kids, and it becomes like kind of this institution of value, where people can get a leg up. Sometimes it's not what it's who and I've experienced that, at least myself, in the chef life, over and over again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we were talking about offline, as I've referred to earlier, is that on Twitter, it's a really interesting time with the way that we are seeing within the NFT community, people, utilizing avatars and, seeing a whole different persona for themselves through NFTs. And I think that's a really positive thing. And we were sort of talking about, people kind of being maybe nervous to show their real faces or things like that. And this gives them a sort of second skin in a way.
yeah, if you'd like, yeah, I'll rehash that. I think in order to understand this phenomenon that is generative avatar projects, which is a project where, an artist creates a series of traits and they are randomly combined together to create a certain number of finished products. On the outside, it doesn't really make a lot of sense why these things go for so much money. What is the draw? What is the value? And I think that you need to understand that I think there's three really important things going on here. First of all, your avatar is a representation of you. And so especially in the cryptocurrency world, many people don't use their real names. They don't share their real faces. And up until this point, there hasn't really been a suitable representation for the self. But because there's so many variety, many times people find one that really speaks to them, and they feel like, oh wow, this really represents me. A lot of our dog holders are people who love their dogs, and they have a strong connection to their animals, and that's why they chose a dog or a specific dog. And so first of all, it does serve as a representation of self, an outward looking mask for the world. Secondly, it's a status symbol. What avatar you're using shows to some degree, what your connections are, who you're affiliated with. If you're a Bored Ape right now, that's a real big flex, and all the other Bored Apes recognize each other. And if you have a CryptoPunk, it shows that you're at the kind of highest echelon of NFT collecting. It's a real feather in your cap to have a CryptoPunk, and that's really important. And thirdly, it just represents community. So it's your face, it's a status symbol, but also once you buy into one of these projects, if you're in a good community, you'll be embraced by them and welcomed as a brother or a sister or whatever. And that's where the real magic begins. And I think that if you are just starting in this NFT space, you should definitely save some funds. Don't worry about the financial investment. I wouldn't even look at it from the point of view of, will this NFT make me money? I would buy into a community that you like, okay, and spend some time with these people to really gain an understanding of the environment, because just a couple people sharing their knowledge and their experiences can go a really long way. There's a lot of information here to catch up on.
And you know what? That Discord just goes on 24 hours a day, so you're never lost.
It sure does. It sure does. In the beginning, I tried to keep up with everything, and maybe that was also part of what helped the community grow. Is any specific questions for the team, or any specific questions about the project, I tried to read through all the chat every day and respond, piece by piece when I had a chance. But now I just given up, and we have community mods too, who do an excellent job of interacting with the community and making sure we answer the important questions. But I mean, it's kind of exciting seeing all that chat when you log in.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see how it grows. And I'm going to go to some questions very shortly from the Junkyard Dogs community. I just have one question that I just want to touch upon, which we were looking at here from your website, is collaborations with other artists. Now, right. We've talked about what happened before launch. We're talking about kind of the momentum you need to build. So working to spread the word of Junkyard Dogs with other artists potentially, but also influencers. Like I saw someone tweet Snoop Dogg going, "You need a Junkyard Dog." Which,
right. That was awesome.
It's a great brand collaboration. What have you got in the pipeline?
Okay, so that's a good question. So Snoop hasn't gotten back to us, unfortunately. Snoop, if you're seeing this, we're ready to give you a dog, man. So hit us up. But collaborations are really important for a brand because it kind of represents the cross-pollination of ideas and communities. It's something that I'm personally very passionate about, and so are several other members of our team, and we're constantly trying to reach other projects. One partnership we have is with a game called Hash Garage, and they are making a Zed Run like racing game with cars and voxel car models. And they made us a 1-of-1 Junkyard Dog car. You can see the Junkyard Dog avatar, voxel avatar in the driver's seat. And we've also implemented a feature in the future where people will be able to draw the image of their Junkyard Dog out of their wallet and put it as a skin on their car. So you could have your JYD on a Lamborghini. What? You could have it on your, it's going to be way cool. And this type of collaboration actually goes beyond what many other projects do when we talk about collaborations, because it's a real interaction between our codes and our ecosystems. And so that's really cool. Other collaborators, I don't want to.
On that point that you've just mentioned, I do have to give a little bit of kudos to NFT Easy 777, who did ask about that. He wanted to know if there are any more scraps, and does that relate to the Hash Garage partnership or any other undisclosed games? I mean, is that a link in with what you were just talking about there?
Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. I'd love to clear that up. So the scrap system that JYD staff has talked about in the past does not have anything to do with the Hash Garage collaboration. I can see why there may be scraps, cars, upgrading, whatever, that does make some kind of sense, but they will be separate systems and they will not have anything to do with each other.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Hash
enough.
Garage is its own game, its own entity. They have their own team and developers, and so we're doing a partnership where we're working together, but they all are also like their own project, and so there's not going to be any carryover there.
Yeah. Sorry. And then just go back. You were going to talk about another collaboration there. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in. I knew there was a link there.
Sure. So there's different kinds of collaborations. You know, there's collaborations where, let's say somebody holds an NFT from both communities. Well, maybe they can get airdropped something, you know, special for holding something in both communities. There's collaborations where your project may get something special in our world, or vice versa. You know, and then there's artist collabs where you get, you know, artists with a following, or notable, or good artists to do a version, or a derivative of one of your dogs. And so one of those collaborations we announced just this week with Skull Kid. They are a really cool project with a unique rune system where you're going to be able to kind of upgrade your avatar and change it depending on some outside factor NFTs, and that's pretty cool. And they're going to be making a special dog for us that's going to be upgradable in their style. And so I really look forward to seeing that. And you know, of course, there's the opportunity for our communities to interact and meet each other in the digital sense. So I have two other big artist collabs. I'm not going to tell you their names. I'm waiting for them to have some sneak peeks for us. And I think we are going to be building up to an artist week where we're going to be focusing on revealing several collaborations in a row as part of one kind of big event where we're, you know, working with several artists at once. So that's going to be really exciting. But that's probably going to happen in 3 or 4 weeks from now, though.
Oh, do you know what that means? That means we're gonna have to do another video, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to chat about NFTs anytime. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be amazing. So I've got a few more questions. We've looked at the kind of mid-range for you guys. Doggy Boss wants to know, what is your long-term view on the NFT space and also for Junkyard Dogs? And what is your vision for the future as well, is one big question that's been popping up.
yeah, it's a really great question. Shout out to Doggy Boss. Thank you for the question, man. Um, okay, that was actually a question in two parts. Can you say it for me again?
Yeah. So what is your long-term view on the NFT space in general, and also
Right.
obviously for Junkyard Dogs? And I suppose on top of that, what is the long-term vision for Junkyard Dogs?
Okay, so long term, you know, the NFT space is really in its infancy, and we are just getting started. You know, obviously cryptocurrency in this space operates on cycles, and maybe smart money would bet on us being in the, you know, the final wave of the bull run for this series. You know, although it's really hard to predict those types of things in a lot of ways. I think it seems like things are just getting started, right? But you know, cryptocurrency in general has been on a bull run for several months now, and so you know, we have to be aware of the cyclical nature of these things. But NFTs as a facet of crypto are going absolutely nowhere. I mean, this is a revolutionary technology, and truly its application in art is only one really small aspect of what they can do. NFTs, I believe, will be used in contracts. NFTs will be used in the rental and the exchange of property. NFTs can be used for your health records. You know, an NFT by definition is just a non-fungible token. What that means is that it's not interchangeable with a million other parts. It's unique. And so what we're talking about is digital stuff, right? Stuff that only exists in the electronic space. And so far, that application has been used in the arts and fine arts. But you know, we're going to see this continuously evolve and become more and more integrated in our society, I think. So you know, NFTs are just getting started, and I think that it's going to be really exciting to see, you know, where it goes as an industry. Just art is just one facet of what is really going to be I think, a big societal change. You know, the same
100%.
way, yeah, the same way cryptocurrency is affecting the financial markets. You know, NFTs will affect a whole wide variety of other industries, and so that'll
Yeah.
be really fun to see. Junkyard Dogs specifically, for me, I mean, this is a really long-term project. This is a dream come true. You know, I love community. I love friendship and fellowship, and um, to be able to invest in something like this, where I'm a part owner of, is really amazing. I I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing, you know. And I kind of alluded earlier to Junkyard Dogs being a social club in the veins of Rotary International, but I mean that 100%. You know, I think Junkyard Dogs is going to remain as an institution for the future. You know, we've done our fundraising. We have funds in the community wallet. We have funds in the dev wallet. You know, we're not going anywhere. And as long as we keep playing our cards right, as far as delivering value to dog holders and delivering value to people who hold our tokens, you know, I can only see positive things for the future. And I think that's irrelevant to the cyclical nature of the market, because we're building it out. We're
Yeah.
100% building it out, you know. Um, as far as innovations in the space goes, the scrap system is going to be particularly innovative. Basically, I'm giving you the scoop right now. We haven't
Right.
officially announced this or officially talked about it, but basically the scrap system is going to involve airdropping scrap to all dog holders on a regular basis. The scrap is going to start off as a low tier piece of junk, perhaps, you know, and it is something that can be refined into a more valuable piece of junk. And then these pieces of scrap are going to be burnable and combinable to create a finished product NFT. And this NFT is going to represent different facets of the junkyard. It could be lore, it could be things, items, houses. You know, there's a wide variety of possibilities on what we can create, even incorporating other artists into having craftables. And each of our craftable NFTs are going to be of a limited amount, and most likely a limited time also. We're still hashing out the exact details, and so I don't want to get into specifics about numbers or what exactly we're going to be made. But what we're attempting to do here is kind of make a monumental crafting system where people can create fun and interesting things with an ever revolving choices, you know, limited time choices to kind of create the draw and really gamify holding the scrap. You know,
And
we went.
do you have a rough time frame for that? When can we start expecting that drop?
So that's a really good question. Like I said, it's a really big system in development, and so we're probably looking at 2 months until it's really working the way we want it to. We've already started developing the art side of things, and after the drop, our dev had to go on vacation for a little while, and so, you know, he's
That's
taking
not
some needed
allowed.
That's not allowed, right? Hey, get back to work. No, our dev is our most valuable asset. We would be nowhere without him, and we really have an amazing wizard of a dev. He's with the team full time, and you know, he has pulled through for us on a tremendous level, and so he definitely deserved that break. But he's going to be coming back to us full time around the beginning of September, I think September 1st, and so that's when we'll really be able to start working on developing the coding side. Also, to make sure that our dog holders aren't bogged down with extraneous gas transactions, or we're not bogged down. We are also investigating side chains, and we may do the crafting portion on Poly. You know, we're investigating. I'm not declaring that, you know, but the idea would be to maybe do the crafting and the burning on a side chain, and then making the finished product an ERC 721 token to just kind of make things a little bit smoother. And so that's big. That's a big different. Nobody else is doing that type of system right now, and I think that people are really going to love it. I think it's really going to catch on, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it myself. You know, I love crafting games, and they're a really big thing. So
that's so exciting. And actually, do you know what? That might link to this. So Doggy Boss has also asked, have you got plans to convert Ethereum to stables to minimize a risk, to minimize the overall risk in a bear market?
it has been something that we've talked about. I'm not sure where we stand right at this moment about converting our Ethereum reserves into a stable coin, but it's definitely something of discussion amongst the team members, and you know, I'll be able to get back to you with more specifics about that in the future.
Okay, dokie, that's good. That's good enough for me. And then the man, the myth has asked. I love his name, the man, the myth.
Oh, he's awesome. He's
Yeah.
awesome. I've talked to him several times in Clubhouse and voice channels. He's from the UK, and he's an awesome guy.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Another fellow friend from across the pond. He says, is the website / gamification going to be optimized for mobile? Because he uses it about 80% of the time as using mobile, which I get totally.
Yeah, I get that too. I get that too. As of right now, mobile optimization is not a priority, although it's definitely something that we will be looking into after the game itself has been launched. sorry. Right now we are we're, I would say, probably about a week away from being able to release our game for alpha testing, and that is what the bone holders are going to be able to do. They will be the first people with the ability to play test and try out our Cat Invaders game. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but if you go on the website, there is kind of a sneak peek. If you go to the Clubhouse and you just click on the art, you will see a hidden back room with a game under construction, and that's kind of been our teaser about the game. But yeah, a real life friend of mine has been working on that. He's a game developer, and it's fun. It's cool. It's our game, and I can't wait to show you guys. It's not on the level of Skyrim. I've wanted to caution people that we are not a AAA game development studio. To make games on a grand scale costs magnitudes more finances than we have, and manpower. But we are looking to make our own like in-game suite of simple games for the Junkyard website, where people can compete for high scores and get rewarded in scrap for having the high score on a certain period of time. So
amazing. Well, listen, I think you've answered all the questions so far from our wonderful community. So, and I think a lot of people are gonna have a lot more questions for you guys in future. Actually, one thing that actually has popped up, which I haven't asked you yet, and I think this is a really good, because this is a prediction for the future for you actually to think about. So Han Van Holt has asked, which undervalued project do you think has a lot of potential that you've seen in the NFT market?
Junkyard Dogs. I think Junkyard Dogs is the most undervalued project in the NFT market. It has absolutely the most potential. We have a rock star team pushing art. We're looking for a full-time marketing guy to do our social media, and we're going to be doing a massive marketing push here soon. We have the most potential as far as revolutionizing the NFT space. We have our world in the sandbox that we will be developing as an official partner of Sandbox with premium land. We're going to have our JYD brand right there on the map alongside the other titans in the industry. Yeah, I'm JYD all the way. And I guess if you're talking about another project, I'm not really sure. I couldn't answer that question for you. I couldn't answer
because you are so focused. It's all about JYD.
I'm ashamed to say it, but it's true. I haven't really been able to participate in many other drops since we started focusing all of our time on JYD. We've actually been talking about it as a team, because we were all collectors first, taking part in many drops. And ever since we've kind of gotten tunnel vision on JYD, we haven't been able to participate in as many other projects as we had hoped. So, that's kind of the coin flip. But I think Junkyard Dogs is definitely going to be a titan in the future, and I'm personally doing everything I can to make sure that it is. So
you are all in.
I'm all in. 100%. I'm all in.
Yeah.
We have some amazing community members that slowly they're revealing their expertise and their connections to us, and working with the community is a big focus. Hiring internally. Why look for somebody outside when we can get somebody from within the club that can do that work for us? And so,
yeah,
I think.
So what would you say actually on that? What would you say if someone thinks that they've got a skill that they can add? What should they do to let you guys know? Just to contact you?
Yeah, definitely send us a DM. You could say something in suggestions in the Dog Help Dog channel. I kind of did a brief accounting of who said they were able to do what a little whiles ago when people were talking about their expertise. But I think what's most likely going to happen is we will be posting specific jobs that need to be done and allowing people to apply for that job with giving their resume and giving dog holders first choice. Of course, sometimes the right person isn't going to be within our community, and so I don't want to tie my hands and say we'll always hire from within. We want to make sure the right person is doing the job always. But yeah, definitely send me a DM. We're working on lots of things, and we'd love to see where you can fit in. We've had lots and lots of community members offer their support, and that's why I know that we're going places, because I've seen firsthand the level of skill and the varied across the board professionalism that that the dog holders have, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We have lawyers, we have doctors, we have marketing experts, we have journalists, we have chefs and digital nomads who exist only in a transitionary state between countries while they do their mobile marketing, and developers and UI and UX developers, and so it's really awesome to see everybody kind of come together and show themselves. And I really look forward to doing weekly AMAs and weekly voice get-togethers, and even more, we're going to be opening some more special interest groups, trying to pull the community and see what kind of special interest groups people would like to break out into and talk. They're just going to be locked channels, under a subcategory, but where people can talk about personal finance. I'm really big on personal finance and financial freedom. I don't want to retire when I'm 75. I'm trying to retire 10 years from now tops. And
I was just going to ask, where do you see yourself and Junkyard Dogs in 5 and then 10 years time? That's my final question to you, because that's the future.
Yeah, 5 years time, I see Junkyard Dogs being a global brand. 10 years, leading the cause for the fair treatment of dogs and rehoming and no kill. I see Junkyard Dogs being a leader in charity and industry. Notable people will be Junkyard Dogs, and they will talk about how being a dog has influenced them in their careers and their experiences. And I think 10 years from now, the sky is the limit. You're going to see Junkyard Dogs vinyl toys. You're going to see Junkyard Dogs cartoons. You're going to see, Junkyard Dogs beer, and if everything goes well, murals in Philadelphia, and we'll see Junkyard Dog stuff everywhere, because I think that we have a style and a universe that can appeal to a broad audience of people, and I'm also hoping to incorporate the other animal avatars into that universe as well. I think it would be silly to just remain an isolated monolith, in this world going forward. And we really want to work with our contemporaries in creating this new wave of community and social clubs. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, listen, Michael, chef, what do I call you? The news is out there.
Whatever you want. Just don't call me jerk.
Okay, fine. I'll try not to. Don't give me a reason to.
Great.
Thank you so much. This has been enlightening. I think anyone that's thinking about starting up a community has got some great tips from you. It looks like Junkyard Dogs has got an amazing future ahead of it. I'm so glad that I'm in early with you guys.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, this is the start of something really exciting. So thank you for interviewing with me today, and I'm wishing you and the rest of the Junkyard Dogs, and of course the community, all the very best. Amazing.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Bex, for having me, and I hope we can do it again sometime.
Well, there you have it. What an amazing interview with Chef Dizzy from Junkyard Dogs. So many useful tips, and also for any Junkyard Dog fans, lots of exclusives in there as well. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. There's going to be loads more NFT news coming your way, lots of great interviews, and also a lot of fun as I follow my journey into the world of NFT. So I would love you to stick with me. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment if you've got any questions, and I'll see you next time.